Welcome to Faithfully Us, a space where faith meets family and quiet voices are heard. We're a Christian Caribbean couple living in America, navigating the real life joys and challenges of marriage, parenting, work life balance, and mental wellness, all while staying rooted in Christ. We invite you into our quiet corner of the world where we speak honestly about the highs and lows of everyday life, including cultural identity, burnout, marriage, emotional overload, faith, and figuring it out as we go. If you're looking for encouragement and real talk, you're in the right place. Let's walk this journey together.
First episode.
Welcome to our first episode of Faithfully Us. It's exciting. I'm Kirsty.
I'm Kamoy.
And we are a married couple who have been together for 18 years.
18 years, been
Married for 14. Yeah. Our tagline is where faith meets family and quiet voices are heard. So we are a Christian couple, so hence the faith. We have a family. And I think Kamoy and I have quiet voices compared to other people. I feel like we have a lot to say. We say a lot to each other, just not outwardly to other people. So we just wanted to have our quiet voices finally be heard.
So jumping right into it.
Okay.
So you just said we say a lot to each other, but not necessarily to other people. Why do you think that is? At least for you, why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think because we are a married couple, right? So we talk more to each other. And some of the topics that we talk about can be sensitive to other people, and we don't want to come off as insensitive or just, so it's just better for us to talk to each other about it. And also we have a lot of similarities, right? So as you heard in our intro, we are from the Caribbean. We're from a small island called Antigua. Kamoy and I knew each other, were acquaintances back then. And then you moved here when you were...
I moved here when I was 13.
Yeah, and I moved here when I was 16. So, and then we found each other, and we can get to that another episode. But yeah, so we just have a lot of like, how was it, adjusting to American culture from moving here, and he moved to Colorado when he was 13. I moved to Jersey City when I was 16. So,
and I moved to Lakewood, Colorado, not Denver, Colorado, not Aurora, Colorado. I moved to Lakewood.
Yeah. So it's, our experiences were similar, but also very different, right? So, yeah, that's just, that's our story and how we kind of got here. We have 3 kids. And yeah, we're just ready to take you guys on a journey with us. We hope that you'll stay tuned and enjoy our podcast and all that we have to say. Our initially we said our podcast is going to be like 15, 20 minutes. So we'll see how that works. Cause I think we have some topics that might be a little heavy.
Yeah.
And might be, longer.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
And going back to what you're saying too about like sometimes we don't want to get people upset because they might not understand what we're saying, because I feel as though that happens a lot because we might have certain way that we say different things that doesn't necessarily mean
Yeah,
what
absolutely.
it comes out meaning to, like, especially like Americans and stuff like that. It means something completely different.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't necessarily know that just because we have different ways of saying things.
Yeah.
I remember moving here, I think it was 2001. And I remember my parents just saying one, it was in February. I remember this, we're at the beach. And then my dad was already in Colorado because he was working and he happened upon a job in Colorado. And then after a couple months, he was like, yeah, I think this is it. I think this is a good opportunity for us to move out to Colorado and be able to put roots and everything. So I remember that was a really sad point in my life because I was just starting to make friends and I was like, oh, so how is this going to work out? Because I was always a quieter person. I didn't really talk too much. Um, it took a lot for me to like get out of my comfort zone, get out of my shell. And even though I'm still kind of like that right now, I would say I'm a lot more outgoing than I was when I was 13 years old. And I think a little bit of that too is me moving to America because it kind of forces you to you're the different person.
Yep.
I was
Yep.
always the
Absolutely.
one. I was always the outsider. I was always the one trying to learn what's going on around me. And I think if I stayed in that shell, I would always be isolated and I wouldn't have made any friends whatsoever
Yeah.
because I would just stick to myself all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that forced me to be more outgoing, which I think is a good thing. Because Kirsty and I were talking about this a while ago, and she was like, I was like, What do you think you'd be like if you're still living
Oh,
in
yeah, that's
Antigua?"
true.
And then
Yeah.
she was like, I think I'll still be sheltered.
Yeah, I was really
So
sheltered when growing up, right? My mom was a single mom. There's three of us. I'm the oldest and the only girl, and I have two younger brothers. And my mom did everything for me, right? Like my hair, everything. So then when I moved to Jersey City, I went to live with my aunt, and because of my age, I had to do a couple years of high school and then I could go to college. But it was different, having to I remember trying to figure out my hair and how do I do my hair? Because I don't do my own hair. My mom did my hair for me. So I grew up a lot because of the environment and because I didn't have my mom there to lean on all the time. Um,
and you're in Jersey City.
and I was in Jersey City, guys. Like it. Jersey City is an interesting place. We live in Colorado now, right? Kamoy never left. I came here and it's just different. It's really, really different. And I feel like if I had stayed in Antigua, I would probably still be living with my mom. Um, really sheltered, kind of quiet, reserved. That's how I think
So I have
it
a
would have been.
question. So I feel as though sheltered to us means something different than like Americans saying sheltered.
What does
Because
sheltered mean to you?
I feel as though like in America, like sheltered is like um you don't do anything, kind of like the people around you are lying to you about how life really is.
Okay, I could see that. I could see that.
And I feel as though sheltered for us just means that we have a kind of like a hedge of protection around us.
Yeah,
So
I would say protection and maybe
it could be overprotective.
overprotectiveness.
Yeah, it could definitely be overprotective.
Have you know my mom? Yes, yes, for sure. So I think that's how Kamoy and I would probably, let's say we both stayed in Antigua. Granted, I hope that this was God's send, but we probably would not have dated at all. We went to school together.
Yeah.
Do you want?
Okay. When was the first day you remember meeting me? Like we
Okay,
actually
so
met.
let me say this. So it was secondary school.
What secondary school?
It was Claire. We went to Clare House Secondary School.
What's a secondary school?
A secondary school is like a high school, except it's so you start in secondary school. You start at age 11, 12. So what's that? That's
That's middle school.
here, yeah. So it's a combination of middle school and high school, I guess. The first time I remember him, and the reason why we had the same friends, but he and I weren't friends. We were just acquaintances. um, the first time I can remember him was second year. So we were in second form. We were in the same class. There were a bunch of girls in that class. We were in 2A1, bunch of girls, and there were four boys. And he was one of the boys. And that's how I remember him. How do you remember me?
So I remember you. I remember you actually. Was it before that class? It was before that class because I don't remember her at all before this point.
Second form? You didn't remember in
No,
second form?
no, I remember in second
Okay, okay.
form, but she remembered me from second form. I remember her before second form. So we went to this library. There's this library, the one library in the entire island. I went to the
Back then.
library, and then I don't even remember it was probably like Hardy Boys or something because that was the only thing I read.
And I love Nancy Drew.
Yeah, and then was in the library. As soon as I walked into the library, there's this girl sitting at the table by herself reading a book. So I remember very vividly seeing her. I was like, oh, she goes to the same school. I never seen her before.
We wear
Yeah.
uniforms, so you can tell what school we went to.
Mhm. So I remember going to get my book and then coming back, and then I was kind of like looking for a spot to go and sit and read and everything. But I think I remember wanting to sit next to her, but I didn't really do. I was kind of just lingering, and then she looked up at me. I was like, "You can sit here if you want."
I don't remember
She doesn't
that.
remember this.
I don't remember that at all.
And then I remember I had to be what, 11?
Were we in Clear Hall
We're in
or
Clear Hall.
okay,
Was it
so
11 or was it 12?
11 or 12, I would say.
I th
So
it had to be 11, yeah. I remember thinking to myself, "Oh, she's kinda cute."
oh, wow, wow.
And and this was like 11-year-old, never been in any relationship, never had a girlfriend, nothing like that. Just
Stalker.
yeah, sure. Just thinking to myself, "Oh, she's kinda pretty." But then nothing we read in silence pretty much. I don't think we really we really spoke to each
Yeah,
other.
I
So
I love
mhm,
I still love reading. I have 3 small children. Reading's hard now, but I would be at the library after school. My mom worked close by, so I would drop myself off at my mom's work, and I would be at the library until she would call the library for them to tell me that she's ready, she's leaving to come to her. So I read a lot. So he probably, did I believe him if that's what he said, that's what he said. But um I was always in my book. So somebody could be sitting next to me, but I was so engrossed in the book that I was reading
yeah.
that I don't remember.
Yeah. So that was my first encounter, and I don't remember her again until we're in class together
Yeah, I
in
don't
second form.
in second form, yeah.
So, and then
Um
how much did we even talk in second form? I don't
not
remember even talking
not much at
at
all.
all.
Yeah, we just like I said,
And I'm pretty sure I sat like 2 desks behind you.
you did.
So I sat 2 desks behind,
You did,
and
you
we
did, you
hardly
did.
ever
And
spoke
we
to each other.
hardly ever spoke.
So
Yeah, we just had the same friends, right? Like he and I weren't really friends, but we had, mutual friends. So, because of that. And then he left about a year later.
yeah, I left after that. I was done with that grade. That's when we moved to
Colorado.
Colorado, and then she ended up staying there.
Yeah, an additional like 2 years. And then I moved to Jersey. And before, we're going to date ourselves here, before MySpace and Facebook and Instagram. Also, before all those things, MySpace, there's a website called High Five. I think it's a dating website. No, I don't know.
Oh, it's still up?
I think so. So
Yeah, this
we
was Facebook before Facebook.
Yeah, no, before MySpace, right? Like it's where you
Yeah.
connected with your friends and stuff. So that's how when I was in Jersey, that's how I connected with a lot of my friends was, High Five. We would send messages and post stuff and, all the fun stuff. And it would give you like, hey, you may know this person. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's Kamoy. I know him.
Random message from you.
Yeah. And hey, do you remember me? How are you? Just totally innocent because like, I knew him back then. And that turned into MSNing, when you did chat rooms and whatnot. And then I think we bonded because of, hey, what was it like assimilating to American culture?
Yeah.
And hey, I went to high school. How was your high school? What's it like? So we bonded over that. And then this turned into phone calls, so we took it from MSN and we started um calling each other, and it was just like, hey, happy birthday, hey, Merry Christmas, hey, how are you? Very friendly, like, how's everything? What's college like? Because he started college a year before I did. So what was college like? I'm going to college too. And then go ahead, you can talk about the dorms and stuff.
Yeah. So since we're talking about us,
Mhm.
so I just remember it was just so random. And then I remember that I would be like talk randomly, like be walking around outside the dorm, just talking to you and stuff like that. And I think that's how it kind of started because I think we developed a friendship.
A really close
Yeah,
friendship.
that we weren't really expecting.
Yeah,
So
and he would call me, and so I remember one point, um, I was in college, and there was this guy that I was kind of dating or whatever, and Kamoy would call and it's like, okay, bye, guy, I gotta talk to Kamoy, my friend here. You know what I mean? So I think there was something there for us, but because I was in Jersey, he was in Colorado, we never ventured into that. And then he started dating somebody, I started dating somebody. The next year it all fell apart for both of us. And I said, hey, I've never been out to Colorado. Can I come visit? And he was like, yeah, come on out. So I visited and I stayed with a couple of his friends. Um, yeah, and then we talked a lot, and then we officially made it official
yeah,
18 years
18
ago.
years later.
Yeah,
It seems
that's
like it was like
crazy.
maybe 8 years ago.
That's crazy.
But
Almost 2 decades.
now we're almost middle aged.
Oh, please. I don't want to talk about that. I'm still young. Leave me alone. It's oh. Yeah, so that's how so we started dating. And then we did the long distance thing for a year. And then I moved out to Colorado. And I've been here ever since.
So who's the stalker?
Okay. You weren't saying that you were coming out to Jersey City, so I
'Cause
mean,
I don't have stalking traits.
wow, says the guy who met somebody and was like, "Oh, she's pretty. Let me sit next to her." I'm
That's-
sure the library was
That's
empty.
that's not weird. You can think someone's pretty without being a stalker. So
Oh my goodness. Anyway, so yeah, so that's how we got started in our relationship. I moved out a year later, and then yeah, we've been together ever since.
Yeah.
So
3 kids later.
3 kids later, yeah.
So going into since they know all about us
Mhm.
and they know all about our background and how we met and everything, what was your experience when you first moved to the United
Oh,
States?
yeah. So that was great question. That was really interesting for me. So let me tell you about my first date. I'm sure you've heard the story
The
many,
very
many.
first day of school.
The very first day of high school. So I went to a high school in Jersey City, and um it was one of the baddest. And everybody was like, "Ooh, you sure you want to go to?"
Baddest as in like
No, baddest as in like, "Oh, this school is pretty bad." But it was, I walked to school because it was like a 2-minute walk from my house, you know? And I remember the first day of school, my very first class, I was in class with a pregnant girl. And everybody was just doting on her and, "Oh my gosh, I can't wait for the baby to be born." In our culture back then, if you were pregnant in high school, you pretty much dropped out, right? It was seen as a um disgrace, if you want to say, to be pregnant in high school. So I came from that mentality to coming here, and it was, "Oh, she's pregnant." Like I was mortified for her, but then
Yeah.
yeah, and everybody was just like gloating over her and doting over her, and it was a weird experience for me, right? My second class, um this guy was he just got out of jail. And he was bragging about the fact that he was in jail. He was in jail all summer. And people were just like, "Oh, it's good to see you back," and blah, blah, blah. And I was scared. I was like,
Say, what?
"What
You went
was
to
he?
jail?"
He went to jail?" Mind you, I'm 16, right? I came from this, it's a different culture. And I'm like, he was in jail? Oh my goodness. Like, you know? I don't remember. There was something that happened in my third class. I don't remember. But I remember my last class. There was a fight.
This is all the first day.
This is all the first day.
Man.
I was scared. There was a fight. There were 2 girls who had beef. They've had beef for a while, and they just started fighting. And I was frozen. I just sat there. I was frozen. People were scattering out of the way, and I'm just sitting there at my desk, frozen. Somebody who we became really good friends. She grabbed me and pulled me out of the way because I was in the path of their fight. So this was my very first day of high school in Jersey, and I was petrified because this was something that I wasn't used to. I was like, what did I get myself into? I don't know if I want to be here. This was weird. But then, of course, over the years, you just kind of learn to adapt, and you learn how to act, and this was life, right? So yeah, that was my transition, into
Yeah.
America. I remember when they assigned me a high school. Um, my aunt, so I have family in Jersey City, and they were like, "Ooh, are you sure you want to send her to this school because it's pretty bad?" And it's like, "Yeah, that's the school that they assigned her. It's 2 minutes from the house. That's where she got to go." What was your experience moving here?
So my experience, I can remember this, my first day, like it was yesterday. And it wasn't because there was fights. It wasn't because I saw anybody pregnant, but it was like, those TV shows or movies when like you go into a school hallway and then like everything gets big. You seem like really tiny.
Tiny, yeah.
All of a sudden there's a whole bunch of people around you.
Yes.
And then I walked in. I remember walking in. I didn't even walk to the front door of the school. I walked to the side door because honestly, I think with me, I just wanted to like sneak in
Yeah.
and go do what I need to do.
Yeah.
But I walked in, and I remember walking in because First of all, our school back home wasn't indoor. Well, it was indoor. The classrooms were inside, but it was separate buildings. And to walk to each classroom, you had
Yep.
to go
You go
outside to go
outside
to
and
another
walk to the next
classroom.
class. Yeah.
But this was all indoors. I
Mhm.
wasn't used to lockers. I wasn't
Yeah. We
used
didn't
to
have lockers back then.
hallways. So I walked in. I remember immediately feeling overwhelmed. I was like, "There's so many people all around,"
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, nobody here looks like me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, man, am I really the only black person here? Am I really? So I was like, okay, what's going on? So I felt like I was walking, everybody was staring at me. It felt like I don't remember if that was true or not, but I remember finally walking and there was one black guy, and then we made eye contact and we kind of did the head nod. And then I was like, okay, at least there's somebody.
Mhm.
So I remember it was such like everything was different. We never I had to get used to the bell ringing. So you leave one class, you go to your locker
Yeah.
room, you put your stuff in your locker, you get your stuff out, you go to your other
And
class.
can I just want to
Hmm.
say real quick. So when we were in Antigua, we stayed in the same class. The teachers
Teachers came
came
to
to
you. Yeah.
us. So we stayed. So, first period, teacher comes, leaves, the next teacher comes in. So we stayed in the exact same class.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just wanted
Yeah.
to
No,
say
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I just remember dealing with all that and then um having to figure out how to get to my classroom, like because there was like three levels. Some classes were upstairs, some classes were
Mhm.
down, and you had a 10-minute period. And I think for the first couple of days, I think I was late to almost all my
Yeah.
classes because I was just trying to figure everything out.
Mhm.
And yeah, so dealing with that, dealing with how, uh, of course, I spoke differently. I had a very thick
Of
accent.
course.
If you know anything about most Caribbean islands, or at least Antigua, where we come from, we speak, how we speak is mostly British English.
Yep.
It's like
Oh, yes.
bad British English.
No, no.
If like how we
It's
talk.
he's speaking
Yeah,
about, like, especially like when our writing too.
yeah,
So we have like you, there's neighbor, there's a
yeah.
you, color,
So
there's a
yeah,
you.
that's
Yeah.
different. Yeah. So I remember that entire. I think I did this for like 3 years before I finally gave in. I was like, okay, you know what? Whatever.
What did you give it? No.
So spelling harbor, HARBOUR,
Yes,
spelling
yes. I
neighbor,
struggle too. Yep.
spelling a whole bunch of different things. Where the teacher used to be like, "Hey, you really need to work in your spelling
Yeah.
because your spelling is really bad." I was like, "No, you need to work with your spelling." And I refused to spell it the American way for the longest
It
while.
just took me months. I
Oh,
caved in.
really?
English was my favorite
Yeah.
subject. So it's like, all right, I can't be
English
getting
was
the
mine too. I got
but I
90s.
know, yeah, but we have to, adhere to the American
Yeah.
spellings
Yeah.
of things. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it took me longer because I was like, that's the only thing I can hold on to, right?
Yeah.
That's my
Yeah. Yeah.
individuality. So yeah. So I remember the entire time. I think it took me about 3 years.
Mm.
Everyone kept on asking me to repeat myself, almost everything I said. So I hated talking. So I think it was then that I finally decided, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna sound as American as I can with anything.
So you took
So
3 years. I think I don't like to be stand out. I don't want to I don't want to stand out, right? Like, especially in this place that it's new to me, it's foreign. I don't want to stand out. So I mastered the American accent. I sound like this now, right? But if I go home, as soon as my foot touches the ground, my accent comes back like this. But yeah, I did not want to stand out anymore because I know my mannerisms, things I did, how I view things. I was already standing out in school. So I
yeah.
just did the American
But
accent.
I didn't want to either, but I think I took a different route. I just didn't say anything. Didn't talk a lot. I didn't say a lot until I think it was like college where I finally started to get out of my shell a little bit. And that's
And I'll say he's a quiet person in general, and I don't know if it had to do with school. So he doesn't really talk much now anyway. So for him not talking a lot,
okay.
it
Define talking much.
okay.
Because
Are you trying to compare? Are you trying to say
because
I speak too much?
no, I never said that. I said talking much.
In order for you to get anything out of Kamoy, you have to ask him questions. He won't just come in and say, "Oh man, my day was blah, blah. It's
Because
like,
most people don't really want to know about your
oh,
day.
I'm your wife.
Okay, I'm not really
Okay. Anyways. So yes, this is us, you know, true and raw here.
Yeah. But it's funny because our raw compared to other people's seem
It's
like
completely, yeah, it's different, right? It's like
So,
that's their raw. This is their bickering.
so
Yeah. So,
oh,
but yeah, we had two different experiences for sure moving here.
so very different people.
Yeah.
I feel as though from where we started to now, we're completely different, but we're still the same.
Yeah, like deep down we're the
So,
same,
yeah,
but our experiences have taught us a lot.
yeah, and we've learned how to handle different situations and
Yes.
how to appear
Yes,
in
for
certain
sure. Yeah.
situations.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
yeah, I always call myself a extroverted introvert, meaning that I'm introverted, but at times I know how to pretend like I'm extroverted.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I feel as though that's my way to cope and to deal with circumstances and situations. 'Cause I feel like that's how I'm always at work. I feel as though I'm more outgoing and extroverted at work than I am anywhere else.
Yeah.
And I think it's just because the environment and having to do it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and I think some careers are like that, right? You just kind of have to put on this persona and then take it off when you get home, you know? Well, thank you guys. This was our very first episode of Faithfully Us. We hope that you tune in weekly to hear us. We're going to post this on everywhere you can get podcasts and also YouTube. So please like, share, comment. If you have questions for us, if there's things you want to know more about us, please put it in the comments so we can answer those. Well, thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next episode.
Faithfully Us.